So much developing this morning. Want to get right to it. And I'm going to take you to the economy. Just a quick break from all the politics, because these are the numbers, and the numbers do not lie. It's a dollar store economy, and Dollar Tree's shares tumbling, remember, after the company revised its annual outlook, with the change being attributed to pressure on its lower and middle income customers. A dollar store, I love the dollar store, but it's not even the dollar store anymore because it's $1.25.
The $5 store.
Yeah, it is. I mean, depending on what you get. And so it's a dollar store economy. What can we learn from that? So we'll talk about it. What do you notice that you are spending more on nowadays? After picking up my son from football last night, we ran by the Acme just to grab a few things. I had dinner ready in the oven, but just to, because it's 6-something at night. And he's like, wow, he loves this certain cottage cheese and pineapples. He's like, it was almost $6 even on sale, and the cartons have gotten smaller. And he's like, wow, that's like $6, and I eat all of it at once,
Is he 90? sorry, I don't mean to throw a shot at you.
No, cottage cheese is like, it's back
Maisie
in.
does it too. I don't get cottage cheese.
It's high in protein.
And she
it's
likes
good
the
for
extra
you.
chunky, and it's like it's like eating sweet blue cheese. It's gross.
David loves it, but he was noticing the higher prices. I told you yesterday that newly released data, Labor Department, showing the Consumer Price Index, broad measure of how much everyday goods like, gas, groceries, rent, it rose 0.2% in August. So the good news is that that's in line with expectations, but it still rose again. And then prices climbed for the month of August 2.5% from the same time last year, slightly less than the estimates. We talked about that yesterday, that those numbers were the best they've been in 2 years, but still way up. By a lot of guesstimates or estimates, those average costs, if you look at the question that Kamala Harris never answered the other day during the debate, are you better off? From 4 years ago, no. You're paying just a basic look at what you're paying, at least 22% more for basic items, and on some items as much as 40% more. So we'll take you through that, but I think that's important to think about the dollar store. What, 855-839-1210, what are you paying more for that really bothers you? For Larry and I, for my husband, we talk about bananas. Bananas are cheaper than they've ever been for whatever reason. So we have lots of bananas.
Banana Republic.
Yeah, it's a Banana Republic. So I guess that's our symbol of the crazy times we live on. And Americans facing all these different inflation rates depending on where you live. So I love this study where they looked at the Labor Department releasing these numbers, but also it depends on where you live. So if you live in the South, you're experiencing things are a little bit better. If you're in Philadelphia, where do we fall with inflation? 3.4%. Okay, and that's right now where we are. And obviously, that's not the 4-year outlook. Okay, but this is just year to year. So when they talk about 2.5% year in a year, we actually are up from that. Do you see what I'm saying?
My sister-in-law is down there in South Carolina, and she's confused sometimes when we talk about how much grocery have spiked and all this inflation, because down there in a red state, she's not really experiencing as much of the inflation that we're experiencing here in this very blue city.
That's because she's experienced, according to the data, 1.7%.
Wow.
So it's still up in South Carolina from 4 years ago. Obviously, everything's up, at least 22%. But what she's experiencing is 1.7%. What we have in Philadelphia, 3.4%. What is it in New York City? 3.7%, or no, 3.8%. New York City. Okay.
So we're right there with New York.
So we here on the East Coast, it's rough. So you think about that, and that's why when somebody like Kamala Harris comes here to Philadelphia, and Kathy Barnett, and she'll be back on today, right, Kathy?
Yeah, she'll be on at 10:30 today.
10:30 today. Let me give you the rundown. Kathy at 10:30, Carolyn Levitt, who just had a baby, 11 o'clock. We'll talk to Carolyn, and then Caroline, and then we've got the bakery owner, and that's Kathleen. Is it Loschel?
Loschel.
It is Loschel. Yep. Okay, because some people have said, well, whether you say lotional, I say lotional, but it's good,
You say
right?
tomato, I
She's
say
the queen of sweet stuff at 11:30, so that's going to be good.
Can't wait to hear from her.
Yeah. So, what are you experiencing when you go to the grocery store? What are you not buying versus what you are buying now? And are you not going out to eat as much? So, we have this big family gathering. It's David's birthday, and you think about having family over, and Larry's like, why don't we just, you don't have to cook, we can take everybody out. I'm like, well, first of all, we got the whole family. It's just easier at the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, it's just so much more expensive to go out to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, even cooking at home, Dawn. Like, me and Maisie, what we'll do is we'll get a giant steak, like a London broil, and throw it onto a pan, and put it in the oven, and have a nice juicy steak for dinner. But even that's like going out to eat at this point. Those things are expensive now, $20+.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's through the roof. But you got to make sure you marinate for at least 24 hours. Got to do that.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you do like slow cook barbecue?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you do.
Well,
Do you
and
have a smoker?
if you don't have time for it, you could just do whatacrock.com. I love I use Whatacrock all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
What is that? A grill or?
Whatacrock? No, it's they started out as a local company, and so they've gone national, but they'll deliver it. Everything's frozen and it's good to go. You just put it in the crock pot. Boom.
Oh, I like that.
It's whatacrock.com. Check it out. It's affordable and it's actually good. It's not like processed or anything. It's like
It's a clever name, too.
It's like you could actually serve it and then claim that you made it. Not that I would ever do that. And
You've totally done it before. Let's not lie here.
So here's the deal. I will say this, too, that there was another indicator, and this was Comerica Bank's chief investment officer, John Lynch, as well as another senior analyst. They were talking about the correlation between stock prices and election outcomes. And I loved this. I'm looking at the Dow down 169. So the Dow down right now. But this is the quote: equity performance reflects broader economic sentiment. This is the word equity in a good light. This is where the word equity belongs during a conversation about financials, right, in the economy. But the S&P's 500 performance, when we think about it, and the Dow could be a greater indicator for impending victory for a challenger. So in other words, could be bad for Kamala Harris with a down Dow, and could be good news for Trump because he is the king when it comes to the economy.
I mean, we see time and time again the stock market directly reflect what we're seeing here in the election as they gear up for a Trump economy versus a Kamala economy. And it seems to go up and down based on that. Hey, one thing I want to throw at you is the housing inflation, because as a young person who just bought a house, it was nearly impossible, and it's nearly impossible for an entire young generation to enter into the first-time home buyers market because inflation has skyrocketed, and that brings in the whole issue of open borders and all, and creating supply and demand, and it's becoming a situation where an entire generation isn't going to be able to own their own home.
Yeah, and that's supposedly the American dream, right? We'll get to J.D. Vance in a minute. He's all over the place being interviewed even this morning, so he's speaking out about the economy. Let's take your calls, 855-839-1210. Margaret in Langhorne. Hey, Margaret, good morning.
Good morning. I have to be a hawk because I live on my Social Security, so I watch prices very carefully. I've been trying to buy paper towels now for 2 weeks because not only are other women very astute and have bought them all, but they're $7.99 for two, for a package of two. So I'm trying to get them from Aldi's because they're cheaper, but it's become a quest to do this kind of stuff. It was like with the eggs.
Yeah,
they were $7.19 for 18 eggs.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this.
It's crazy.
I don't care about anything other than how to get my family fed. So everything else is a moot point.
Yeah. Amen. Amen, sister.
That's how I vote.
Yeah, Margaret, and that's just it. It's when you look at that one fact, and will that keep a lot of even Democrats here in Philadelphia feeling, like Dan said, if you're in another part of the country and you're not feeling it, like we're feeling it here in Philadelphia. So you think about Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, what do all these things have in common? All blue cities. Does this make people feel like, meh, you know what? When Trump was president, I'm just saying, things were better, and I could afford to feed my family. I could afford the gas. I could afford these basic things in life. And absolutely, that's in the back of everybody's minds.
So Fox Business actually did an analysis of certain sectors of the economy, if you want me to run through that real quick for you.
Sure.
22.6% overall since 2020, a rise in food prices. The egg prices in particular, since August 2020, Dawn, 60.7%, they have skyrocketed. Other food categories, dairy products up 16%, fruit and vegetables up 13.8%, shelter prices increasing nearly 23.4% since August 2020, rents for primary residents up by a similar amount, energy costs up 42.4% over the past 4 years, fuel oil spiking 70.3%, which I would suggest is a huge portion for the entire spike in inflation is the cost of oil. Vehicles and gas prices, new vehicles up 19.5%, used 17.9% since August 2020, and auto insurance prices 52.4%.
So you look at that and you think to yourself, how will people vote this year? And I think that's just it, just like Margaret said. So all of the other issues that you're going to think about, whether it's the political correctness, any other issue. I think this is the one because it impacts every American every single day. And I would submit to you that that's why I think that the fact that, even though Greg Stocker and Nick Cale, they feel that Trump did, quote, badly, that he lost the debate. I know I'm not going to do the whole thing on the debate again because I think everybody's over it. But I'm just going to say this. I think that for the average person, when they saw Trump answer the economy question, the answer, I think he answered it. I think people trust him because it's what I've been saying. Who do you trust? I think Trump wins that. And overall, you know what nobody's saying post-debate? Nobody's saying, oh, he was a bully. Oh, he was a sexist. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying he was crazy. He was over the top. He was screaming. He was crazy, ranting, and he was not. Nobody's saying that. I think that actually in and of itself, that what's being omitted because it didn't happen, because people watched it with those huge ratings that we talked about, I think that's a huge win for Trump.
The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done. They've destroyed the economy. And all you have to do is look at a poll. The polls say 80 and 85 and even 90% that the Trump economy was great, that their economy was terrible.
Boom. There it is. And the fact that he's not a slick talking, right? He's not a slick talker. He's not a politician. He comes off as a regular guy. He does not memorize things. He just doesn't. That's not who he is. And so I think that plays well for him. I do. I think this week, look, as we start seeing the debate in our rearview mirror more and more and more, I think that you will see that he did well in this week. And also the images that everybody saw, the image of Trump standing there with J.D. Vance and President Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, a lot of other politicians were there as our nation mourns and commemorates those victims of September 11th. What do you see happen? Trump kindly smiling, very cordial, reaches over, shakes the hand of Kamala Harris. It was a nice moment. It was just nice. And so you can't take that away from him. You cannot take away from him this week that he comes off as a nice gentleman, right? And I think that's a huge win. Don't diminish that. That's a huge win for Trump. We have to take a quick break. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210, the number to call. And just say a prayer, if you will, for the family of Jamie Roman as flags are flying at half-staff this morning. The officer killed, and I can say this now, he was shot last June, lost his battle for survival, his wife, his children, our Philadelphia men and women of law enforcement. We're backing the blue, but we're thinking of you. And I know that this is a rough week that he was taken, that he passed away, and they were hoping and praying that he would somehow survive being gunned down on what should have been a routine day at work, and he never came home. So we're saying a prayer and holding our police family and certainly the Roman family in our prayers this morning. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I'm telling you what happened last night. If you don't like that, I don't care. We'll talk about it. I'll give you my phone number, and I'll also explain to you the way the tooth fairy works. You can live in that bubble, but I try not to. Even though I'm rooting my ass off for Trump, and I want her to go down in flames, that was not a great night for Trump. We all can say ABC News should cease to exist. They have no credibility. That was a disgrace. There's no good with ABC. It was all bad and ugly. So if that bothers you, that's fine.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. It's September already. Can you believe it? Kids are back in school. We're going to blink, and the holidays are going to be here, and you're going to be seeing family and friends and being in a lot of pictures. So if you're feeling self-conscious about your smile, now is the time to schedule your appointment with Dr. Mike Veneria. As you know, my entire family goes to Dr. Mike. His level of care and commitment to dental excellence is unmatched. So get that dental procedure done today, and you'll be one step closer to having that beautiful smile you deserve. Taking care of your teeth is so important to your overall health, and Dr. Mike and his staff makes it so easy to have that beautiful, healthy smile. He's been named a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. He's my dentist. He's respected among his peers as being a master of dental implants. So reach out to Dr. Mike today. With 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson or Woodbury, schedule your appointment or free implant consultation today for your perfect smile. Call 856-786-2020, 856-786-2020, or visit veneriadental.com, VANARIA, veneriadental.com.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else.
What are you paying more for today? And are you paying more for it than you did 4 years ago? Good morning, 855-839-1210. Dawn Stensland, my privilege to be here with you today. Your thoughts on this and more as we move forward throughout the day. Let's get to Carol in Jenkintown. Hey, Carol.
Hey, Dawn. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
So I just was reading an email on a break I have from work, and I didn't even know the Democratic slogan is "Strength through Joy." I can only take so much of the nonsense, but yeah, I'm just reading. It says, "Beware, their latest slogan, Strength through Joy, is the exact slogan used by a 1933 Nazi program to build support for the Nazi regime and control workers." So, I mean, you know, I just can't believe if people are being gaslighted. Like, this is not Republican, Democrat. It's good versus evil. It's like, to me, you know, it's so clear, but, you know, once your eyes have been open, you can't not see, right?
Well, I thank you for the call. I think that the actual title, although I do think that we heard a lot about that word joy, that she's joyful. Remember that during the DNC. The actual slogan, Strength Through Joy, if I fact check it, have I seen that campaign slogan? I don't think that's their official slogan, although they were trying to be joyful and talk about joy. But I will just give you some headlines from, you know, some, and these are even the New York Times and others. If you, for yourself, DuckDuckGo this or Google it, however you get your, whatever your search engine, and you look at Joy and Kamala Harris, there are headlines within the past days and weeks as they say that, that you can't run on joy. You cannot run a campaign on joy. That was, so there are headlines in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, talking about Kamala Harris is showing that joy can be a strategy. That's another headline. Others in major publications saying, no, joy is not a strategy to win. So she has used the word joy. That's true. But do I think she's a Nazi? No, absolutely not. And so I don't, here's the thing. That's what this is what the progressives, I'm not even going to say Democrats, the progressives, you know what they've done? The progressives, they've put a yard sign in their yard that says hate has no home here, but they are the party that has called us evil. MAGA, that we're evil, right? That we're deplorables. That's what we've heard for years and years and years. So I'm not going to call her a Nazi, because there's nothing worse. That's a horrifying thing to call somebody, quite frankly. And so I'm not going to call her a Nazi. I'm not going to call her evil. I'm simply saying that what she stands for, as far as her policies, will not work to make our economy better, will not work effectively to make America great again. And I'm just going by the facts and the numbers. And so I just want to remind you of what happened with Trump. I never saw anything like it in my lifetime. When Trump came in and we had, just take one thing, the corporate tax, what was it? It was 35%. He put it down to 21%. And wow, it was, and he did many other things too. And we know about the so-called Trump tax cuts, which they're set to end in 2025. Okay. And so if you think about how that just spurred our economy, corporations, they didn't leave. The jobs didn't leave. And things were humming along in a way that we've never seen in this country. If you don't believe me, look back at the numbers pre-pandemic for every single community. You don't have to say for this group or that group. It was better for everybody. Historic numbers, but in particular, yes, for women, for minorities, and all of that. All of us felt it. And so Kamala Harris, she's talking about coming in. Her policy is that she wants to raise your taxes for everybody. She has said, if your income is $400,000 or more, boom, your taxes are going way up. It's significant. As far as that corporate tax, it's not as high as Biden. It's not 38% that Biden wants to bring it up, but it's still high, and it's much higher than Trump. So, look at the numbers, look at the facts, and now look at your grocery bill, your power bill, and that's another thing. So with Trump, the reason he's talking about fracking here in Pennsylvania, the reason he's talking about making us energy independent again is so that our energy prices go down, but that means more American jobs. I mean, he makes it seem really simple. And I think in one hand, when he casually says these things, I think he's just thinking, he's looking around. He must look around. And he must have done it the other night during the debate. And he must be thinking, are you even kidding me? And that's why he keeps saying that never in his lifetime has he seen a candidate who says, yes, I'm going to raise your taxes. And that person wins. That's a new one. And so I think we do have to open our eyes, but it's not about campaign slogans. It's about the policy and the proven winner. For me personally, it's hands down. Trump has got this because he is the president who is proven to deliver peace and prosperity. Boom. Mic drop moment. There it is. 855-839-1210.
You want to take Frank before we head to Kathy Barnett?
Sure. Hey, Frank.
Good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Dan. How we doing today?
Doing great, my friend. It's always your voice and your good morning
So
makes my morning. I know.
Buongiorno. How about if I sound Italian? I'm Italian. I was born in Italy. So I'll say buongiorno from now on.
Get it all. Don't miss any of it.
I like to talk in regards to the economy. That this vice president talks about that it's great, it's this and that. 2 weeks ago, I paid for eggs $2.22. And I don't know if I can mention the supermarket but it was Aldi's anyway. I'll mention it. $2.22 yesterday it was. I went shopping again. It's $3.79.
Yeah.
So when the White House, and I wish Peter Ducci, I think I'm pronouncing the right name.
That's the Italian pronunciation. Peter Ducci.
Well, I pronounce it Italian. You pronounce it English. In English. So in saying that, Dawn, when the White House say the economy is great, this and that, why don't they turn around and get the receipts of the president when President Trump, the White House, they have to pay for that food or whatever they order, and get those receipts from President Trump the 4 years he was in, and get the receipts that Sleepy Joe or Beach Joe, whatever they call him right now, or Harris. And then get the receipts from them and see what it should be about between 30 to 40% more. Now, bacon. Yeah. Let's talk about bacon. I go to have a little breakfast every morning. The owner of that had a little breakfast place that I go to have here in South Philadelphia. He told me in the last 2 weeks, just eggs and bacon, $2,500 he paid.
Ooh, that's crazy.
And that's a small place. It's not like Penrose Diner or these big diners that are out there.
Big
Could you
bucks
imagine
for bacon?
I didn't think Italians ate bacon, though. I thought it was pancetta. What's going on here? Why are you calling it bacon over here?
No, I make the pancetta, Dan. I make the prosciutto and the gabagol and the super side. By the way, I'm going to give you. I wish I had an hour to talk with you guys, but here's the thing. We've been in the food business for over 50 years down here in South Philadelphia, and we also had 10 different businesses in Philadelphia area, my whole family. And here's the thing. My one friend, he has a trucking outfit. When it was the Biden administration, he was paying for gas at $600, and that's 2 tanks on tractor trailers. Right now, he's paying between $2,000 and $2,300 for the same gas. The reason why when gas goes up, everything else goes up.
Amen.
So when this administration talks about that biotics or whatever they call it, I'll say it in Italian if they want me to say it in Italian.
Say it in Italian.
I don't even know how to pronounce Biden in Italian.
Homilonomics.
Colomenca. Let me put it that way. and I paid also last week, and that was at a wholesale house at Rosa Foods. I paid $34 for a gallon of oil. Wow. And in the supermarket, they're $57 for another brand. I forget what the brand was. It was $57. 1 gallon of olive oil. And I was in Italy this past summer, and in Gasparina, the whole mountain was full of olive trees, and they process it over there. Now, when that doesn't cost much to kind of raise them, to turn around and have them olive trees on the mountain, just for the water and the sun. What costs is the gas bringing them over here, and that's why.
That's the problem. Frank, I got to run. I love you. I know I got to bring my boys to see Frank. We got to, because we miss the real.
Did you get any of his gabagool when he made it for Christmas?
I know. I got to.
It was good.
And his wine. Oh, we love you. And you know what else? I'm spending a lot more time cooking in the kitchen, right? And I'm spending more and more time because we're not going out to eat. When it comes to your home, especially your kitchen, trust is everything. For over 45 years, Kitchen Magic building a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision, professionalism, and such care. From custom cabinets, countertops, backsplashes, storage solutions, Kitchen Magic gets the job done and fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without all the hassle. Trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. Get it on the calendar. Let's cook up something extraordinary. kitchenmagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
New Jeeps from $269 a month at turnersvillejeep.com. Drive a new Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Ram truck from $269 a month at turnersvillejeep.com.
2024 Compass, 4-cylinder auto, $269 a month, 7,500 miles, closed and leased, 39 months with $2,269 due at inception. Total payments $12,491. MSRP $35,340. VIN number RT175028. Residual $19,083. Tax and tags extra. Not valid with trade-in. $599 dock fee. Ends 9/7/24.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey, a familiar name, but ask yourself, what's he done for you and your family? In his 18th year in Washington, what's Bob Casey got to show for it? He made sure COVID relief checks could go to convicted felons. You heard that right. Bob Casey made sure COVID checks went to convicted felons. When reasonable people tried to stop murderers and rapists from getting checks, Casey voted no. Even the Boston Marathon bomber ended up with a big fat check. Casey voted the party line instead of using some common sense. And with families struggling to pay the bills, Casey had this to say about throwing around their tax dollars.
Go big or go home.
Bob Casey went big. He botched it. And it's time for him to finally go home. Bob Casey is wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time, and now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
So back on the campaign trail, Trump in Arizona, Kamala Harris in North Carolina as TikTok. I mean, you think about this now as we march toward November 5th, and the polls in many events are too close to call. I don't know if you believe the polls, but you know who I believe in? Kathy Barnett, my dear friend, who you know, ran for Senate, made historic numbers by going door to door and coming out of nowhere to be a real favorite. And Kathy, an author, recently coming off the campaign trail, running the grassroots campaign for Vivek Ramaswamy. Kathy taught everybody how to say Vivek Ramaswamy's name, and that in and of itself is it. I remember you saying Vivek like cake. How are you, my friend?
I am doing well. I know, like that was an epiphany one day. Vivek like cake to help us. Yes, thank you so much for having me on, Dawn.
Always. We ran out of time yesterday. It's back to school. We were talking about the economy numbers. And here's the thing, you are busy. You're all over nationally, locally. You're a very busy lady, so we appreciate your time. But you're also a hands-on mom. You homeschooled your kids when they were younger. I don't know how you did it. You've served in the military. But for you, a lot of people are saying that this election will come down to women, especially women in the suburbs. And yet we have this little thing called inflation, Bidenomics, Kamalanomics. What do you see when you think about, because you know Pennsylvania well. Kathy, yeah. I remember you calling in when you were on the campaign. It was amazing. And you were on these road trips. It was exhausting. But in a sense, you have a great sense of Pennsylvania because you were door to door across all parts of this great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. What do you see here?
Yeah. Well, and again, thank you so much, Dawn. I just appreciate you and your friendship and clarity on so many of these issues that we're grappling with today. Let's talk about suburban women, right? And when they say suburban women, they're talking about suburban white women, right? Mm-hmm. And I spent I live in the suburbs around a lot of these particular women. Here's the thing that I learned when I was out there on the campaign trail in my own race with Vivek, is that it is so important to understand your audience. And with that, there are people who their number one priority is abortion. The ability to, I say murder, you could call it what you want, but the ability to do away with that child whenever, however, at whatever time of a point of pregnancy that they want. And it is so important to understand there is nothing we can say to move those particular people off that perch. They're on that perch. They ain't coming down for that perch. I don't care about the economy. I don't care. I don't care that we're about to go into World War III. These things don't matter to a certain segment of our population that is real. And only real life is going to change or have the ability to change those people and move them off that perch. Donald Trump, myself, Vivek, you, we're not going to move these people off their perch. But then I believe there's about 2/3 of the population who is very open. 1/3 of them are, inclined to vote for Donald Trump. I'm talking about the general election. But then there's another third, and I believe that those people are open. The problem with the Republican Party is that we just take it for granted. I was talking to an insider yesterday, and I was talking to her about the fact that there is no ground game here in Pennsylvania. I know this because I just did a Zoom call with over 100. I hosted it, over 100 of the grassroots people that were key in helping me to ignite fire all across this state. And I'm asking every single one of them, what's going on, what's happening? And you see individual people out here beating the ground, but there's no national kind of movement within the Republican Party to really go down at the grassroots level. And I was talking to this insider, and she said, well, we have the black vote. The black people are going to come, right? And they're saying this because they see some rallies and they see some TikToks and they see some videos and they see black people are saying, wait a minute, we are waking up to the reality of the Democrat Party. And that is good, but that's not enough. I believe black people, Hispanics, even Asians, they are open to what the Republican Party has to offer. But the Republican Party has to do a much more effective job, a real job of getting into these communities and making it obvious of what the I mean, the fact that you open up this segment with the polls are close. Like, how in the world did we enter into a reality where the polls are close with Kamala? Of all people, I mean, she dropped out of her own Democrat primary, and at that time, she was polling at 1% with Black people. Nobody likes her. She's a horrible candidate, and yet we're in a situation less than 60 days out, and we're too close to call. How does that happen?
Yeah, and just 270 to win. Just glancing, it's every day I glance at it. So it's right now the consensus. If you look at everything, Democrats electoral votes, 226 the Dems and 219 for Republicans. And so we in Pennsylvania, we're the prize, 19 electoral votes. Then Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia have moved back into too close to call. How about that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
at one
that's a
point,
problem.
right, at one point, Georgia and North Carolina were leaning Republican and red. Now they've moved them back into those so-called neutral toss-up states like Pennsylvania, like Michigan, like Wisconsin, and then Arizona and Nevada, where Nevada for sure abortion is on the ballot, and I think Arizona was as well. But you look at this, and that's concerning that southern states like Georgia and North Carolina have moved from red at the end of the day back to a toss-up.
And it is because, I mean, we can blame ABC, MSNBC, we can blame all of these people all day long. But, I mean, I put it on my Twitter, and if your listeners go to Kathy for Truth on Twitter, I pinned it at the very top. And every time I think about this, I just, it's sickening to my stomach. But at that particular time, we were about 4 weeks from when Donald Trump, the attempted assassination on Donald Trump, he was, shot in the head. Just 4 weeks frenzy on Tuesday here in Philadelphia, and now as usual, like clockwork, all the Republicans go to Twitter and they start complaining about this 3-on-1 fight. But we already knew before he walked in that Dana, the guy who is running ABC, is the one who introduced Kamala to her now husband, and that the Black woman who was the moderator, she is a sorority sister of Kamala. But yeah, let's pretend we don't see any of that so that after the fact we can all complain. We got to get smart. I saw this in my own race. I had the good sense to fire my political consultants after 4 months. But I was watching some of the other campaigns, and it was abysmal what their political consultants were instructing them to do. Hence the reason why it was so easy for someone like myself to see it and to exploit the fact that these people are not authentic. They are, doing polls, figuring out which way the wind is blowing, and then come up in front of the people and talk to them. But I also saw it at a deeper level when I moved on to the Vivek Ramaswamy campaign. Some of these same people that were on Bartos and some of the other campaigns here in Pennsylvania moved right over to Vivek's campaign.
Yeah.
And we started falling like a rock. You can almost map it because it's the same old, same old. And I think Donald Trump is clearly the better option for all of us. But we, those who are in that inner circle, who are making the decisions about our messaging, how in the world is abortion the number one topic when people can't even afford gas or food or rent, or the cost of living for Social Security, I read it last night, is going up 2.5%. Yeah. The Social Security adjustment for cost of living, but the cost of living itself is well over 5% for these senior citizens. Over almost 50% of these senior citizens, they get less than $2,000 right now from Social Security, most of them, and the overwhelming majority of their essential living expenses is consumed by that. How is abortion the number one topic for a lot of these must-win states? When you have very real and practical issues, it starts with us, in the Republican Party, doing abysmal when it comes to the message, as well as getting the right people on the ground to have these authentic conversations with real people.
Amen, sister. Until next time, my friend Kathy Barnett, I just love you. You have such words of wisdom, and I just, I always say to you, please run again. I know you. Then you say, Dawn, I'm not going to run again, but I believe in you, and I think you're an important voice for conservatives. And so, thank you so much, Kathy Barnett.
Yes, I am Pennsylvania, and I think that's what our people need to see. They need to see our candidates are actually real people who are for them.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dawn.
Thanks, Kathy. Kathy for Truth, if you're not already following her. We'll talk about these ballot trackers and look at, and by the way, Arizona, yes, abortion is on the ballot there in Arizona and Missouri, 5 other states with referendums. So they purposely put that on the ballot for a reason, and to Kathy's point. 855-839-1210. So much developing, so much happening this morning. And then we still have Caroline Levitt coming up at 11. Kathleen Loschel, she's coming up. So we'll talk some sweet stuff, positive energy with her cookie poll. And what do the cookies show? How are the cookies crumbling, if you will? Oh, we can have fun with that one. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
High school football is back. High school football is back. And so is the Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Join Daryl Dobis, James Bailey, and Matt Dents. Friday nights 10 till midnight for a rundown of all the big high school games in the region and expert analysis. The Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Friday night at 10. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano with an easy question. How are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is a key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use the code DROP to buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP at res-q.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Bob's Little Sports Shop, Delsey Drive in Glassboro, is your one-stop shop for firearms and firearm safety. Bob's now offers an expanded selection and classroom area, NRA-certified instructors for all your firearm education. Bob's also has your New Jersey carry permit qualifications and an indoor pistol range open daily.
As they wrote our founding documents, our founders prayed each day that God would guide them as they wrote and guide them on their way. They knew that all our liberties were a gift from God above, and that we all must work to keep this land we love. We call this land America, the land of the free. To keep this the greatest land, it's up to you and me. Our freedom is a constant fight. We all must do our part. To stand and fight for all our rights is where we all must start.
Remember Bob's Little Sports Shop for firearms and firearm safety. Call 856-881-7575 or bobslittle.sportshop.com. Paid for by Bob's Little Sports Shop, Glassboro, New Jersey.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
So, quick segment here. We'll talk about a Pennsylvania businessman up in space making history just this morning. Kind of a fun story. So we'll mix in some great accomplishments and history being made in outer space with the Polaris Dawn. So we'll talk about that
name.
Upcoming. I know, what a great name.
Yeah, right? They name it
Thanks,
after you?
Elon. And we got Caroline Levitt upcoming at 11.
So
What?
It's not named after you?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Elon, my good buddy Elon Musk, he just wanted to name it after me.
He loves the Dawn show.
But I know that you want to sound off on all these things we're talking about today. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Debbie, I know you're in the burbs in Montgomery County. What do you see, Debbie?
Yes, I have 2 points that I want to make. I want to talk about Robert Kennedy and his effect on the vote, and also the Trump signs. I ride down a major artery in Bucks County once a week, 232, and I have never seen so many Trump signs. I saw the large ones, like the 6 feet by 4 feet, and I saw 2 Harris signs. I've never seen that many signs, even in 16 and 20, because people are always afraid to put out signs, but I don't think people are afraid anymore to put out signs. That's my first point. Second point is, I don't know why the Republicans are not getting Robert F. Kennedy Jr. out there. And on the point, if I were a woman with young children, I would not be worried about abortion. I'd be more worried about the health of my children. And that's his strong point. And he really does affect people. And he's also for the young vote. So I like to see him out there, pushing that. When they start talking about abortion, start talking about, don't you want your children to be healthier? Let's get rid of the pesticides in the soil and all the problems of children being so sick. Anyway, they're my 2 comments.
Yeah, thank you.
For listening.
And I agree with you. I see more Trump signs than I've really ever seen before, because I think you're right. People are saying, I don't need permission. I'm not going to be ashamed. I'm going to come out of the closet. Good for you, because you have that right. If your neighbors have their sign up, you should be able to put up your Trump sign. As far as RFK Jr., he's still trying to get his name off the ballot in many states where his candidacy could, many believe could help Harris. And so we had reported a couple weeks ago, he dropped out of the race. He endorsed Trump at that great rally, and we played some of the audio for you. And I loved what he said. I agree with you. When he was I think what resonates with so many people, especially parents, especially moms, young people, when he talks about the fact that there's a war on our children and what's going on here. What's going on with all these kids getting sick? And he talked about the FDA. He talked about food and the fact that that he was preaching to the choir with me when he started talking about the fact that other countries do not allow the additives and the methods by which our foods are processed. That's not even allowed in Europe and all through Europe, Italy, other countries, other continents. They don't allow that junk. But we have it here in America. So just one of the, issues that's a huge issue with him, which is the health issue. And then, if you believe that our government, the swamp, that they've colluded between, between big pharma, big food. He had mentioned that all those people who used to work for the cigarette corporations moved on over into the corporate food business. And then you combine that with all the people that say, what's going on? Why is there an attack on our small farmers? Remember when we did, what was that, a year ago, and we did Amos the Amish farmer? Why are they picking on Amos? I mean, the feds raided his farm, and as soon as they settled that thing, the state showed up, like a SWAT team showed up. Remember this? We talked a lot we're like, why is the government caring about local farmers? That plays into RFK Jr. What are you going to say, Dan? Oh, we got to go to break. We got to go. Oh, Caroline Levitt coming up right around the corner. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. Be right back.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5-NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Joe DeCamera here to tell you about the latest and greatest deal from United Tire. Right now, when you buy any 4 tires at United Tire, you'll receive a free oil change or a basic 4-wheel alignment to keep those tires wearing correctly. How's that for a great deal? Nobody beats United. The team at United Tire cares just as much about your car as you do. So why would you take your car anywhere else? Go to UnitedTire.com to find the locally owned United Tire location nearest you. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Butler, Pennsylvania in the news for multiple reasons. The FBI giving an update after threats to multiple schools resulted in lockdowns. That was going on yesterday. So Butler and Armstrong included in the districts impacted by the threats that were later deemed as not credible. But the FBI adding that many districts in Pennsylvania as well as West Virginia were impacted by these threats. So the FBI assisting with local authorities as they are investigating, who made the threats. And again, we don't have arrests of students. We had reported to you, unfortunately that happened last week, and they arrested those 4 underage kids, one as young as 12 in South Jersey. But that's the word that we have as far as the update here. Thank God there were no injuries, but then 2 districts in the county closing again today after threats were made again overnight. And that is the Butler Area School District and Slippery Rock School District, both announcing they're closing some schools. That's just sad to me that that's happening. But given the fact that we did have what happened in Georgia with a deadly school shooting, they have to do this. It's the protocol. They're doing the right thing, and they will investigate and hopefully make these arrests. Let's listen in also, speaking of Butler, Pennsylvania, the
Caroline's
site.
actually here
Oh,
now.
we do have Caroline Levitt. Caroline Levitt, it's such a pleasure, my pleasure to have you here this morning. Good morning.
Hey, Dawn, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I was just about to report that I know that today there's another briefing, more questions here in Pennsylvania about that attempted assassination of former President Trump, your boss. And, certainly in our prayers that everybody in the campaign, President Trump, his family, you, everyone in the campaign will certainly, be safe and that God will protect you. I think you are truly, I hear more people saying to me, Dawn, I'm praying for the entire, Trump family, the campaign. There's a lot of fear, and I shouldn't say fear. There's just a lot of prayer that you'll be safe in the president. So I just want you to know that.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. We do need prayer. The president needs your prayers.
Yes.
I can tell you, working for him, this man is working literally 24/7 to win this election, and he cares so much about this country and the people of this country. He has put not only his freedom, which they have tried to take away by weaponizing our justice system against him, but also his life with the heinous attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. So he's working so hard, and we do need your prayers of protection for the president and our team over the next 54 days. So thank you, Don. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. The media does everything in their power to not talk about July 13th. I hope that they certainly report on today's updated briefing from U.S. Secret Service, because they're having to answer again for that investigation. But what's your take on that as far as why the media, and I always call it bias by omission, they omit what happened, which is American history now, but they want to omit it for sure.
Yes, they do. They want to memory hole the attempt on President Trump's life because, unfortunately, they know that it really showed the American people how strong President Trump is. When he stood up and he put his fist in the air and he said, fight, 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 that was a moment that should go down in American history as just one of the most remarkable showings of President Trump's life. And I hate to say this, Don, and I hate to politicize what happened, but if it happened to Kamala Harris or a Democrat, there would have been many questions about it, as there should have been, because it was a historic moment in our nation's history. There are still a lot of answers that we need to have for why that was allowed to happen, but the Democrats don't even want to talk about it anymore, and the media doesn't either.
That's so true. I think a lot of us will, during the debate, I was watching, I'm like yelling at my television because when Kamala Harris said to President Trump that people were leaving the rallies early, which I can say for a fact I know that they're not. But I was yelling, say the only time they left early was July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, when a wannabe assassin tried to take him out. To me, I wish he had said something like that. I know that he maybe doesn't want to politicize it. Do we know, is President Trump going to come back here to Pennsylvania because I know that he had wanted to do that to honor Corey Comparator, his family, and the others who survived. Is that on the books yet, or anything you can announce?
So I don't have any announcements to make today. I know that President Trump keeps his promises when he makes them, and that will certainly happen before November 5th. I don't have a date for you yet, Dawn, but as soon as I do, you'll be one of the first people, I swear. We'll do your radio show, and we'll talk about the rally and the plan. But the president will be back in the Commonwealth very soon, and he'll be there a lot ahead of the November 5th election. Look, Pennsylvania is a must-win state. The road back to the White House runs right through Pennsylvania, and President Trump knows Kamala Harris would be a disaster for the Commonwealth and for Pennsylvanians. She wants to ban fracking, which would kill 67,000 fracking and energy jobs in your state. It would increase the cost of living. Kamala's weak on crime. I was just leaving Philadelphia yesterday on my way back here to Florida from the debate, and I had an amazing Uber driver in Philly. He was a black man. He told me he was shot 9 times 10 years ago in Philadelphia. And to this day, they never found the killers. And he told me that, unfortunately, there's so many in his community that have similar circumstances, and these people are still allowed to run free. Kamala Harris wants that to continue. President Trump is the only one who wants to ensure law and order and ensure that criminals are behind bars, not roaming free in our streets.
Yeah, and we just this week, I know that you know this, but one of our policemen who was shot, he was shot back in June. He lost his battle for survival. Jamie Roman, who we've been talking about, flags flying at half staff here in Philadelphia as we want to back the blue, and he leaves behind his wife and children, and just another tragedy of somebody who slipped through the cracks and had allegedly shot at police in Puerto Rico before coming here to Philadelphia. So we feel that what you're saying. I wanted to talk about actually this afternoon at 2:00. I'm going to be in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Governor Burgum's going to be there. I'll be there, helping to intro him and lead off in prayer. But I know that you've just launched Team Trump Agenda 47 tour and sending surrogates. Is this part of Governor Burgum being here locally?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Governor Burgum is the best. He is such a great surrogate for President Trump. We love him. We love his wife. She's an amazing woman, and they will be in Pennsylvania as part of this Trump Force 47 policy tour across the country, and they will be meeting with voters and taking questions in town hall style formats to talk about the issues that voters care about, and to talk about President Trump's plan to solve those problems. So I encourage everyone to go and meet Governor Burgum. He is such a nice guy, and I know he's very excited about going to Pennsylvania. I actually just talked to him about it when we were at the debate together on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him. 2:30 today, and then this evening we have a Talk Radio 1210 WPHT event this evening that's with Don Jr. So a lot going on with us today. But is part of this, Caroline, is part of this to clarify the policy, because Democrats keep running these ads claiming that President Trump is part of this, this think tank that put out that Project 2025. And despite the fact that he repeatedly says, I didn't write it, I haven't even read it, it's not mine, but they keep putting that out there.
Yes, they continue to lie about President Trump and Project 2025. He has said repeatedly that this organization has nothing to do with our campaign. The president himself has had nothing to do with it. In fact, the head of the project was on CNN just days before the debate saying that President Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025. Kamala still spewed that lie, and the moderators still did not fact-check her on that lie. They fact-checked President Trump 5 times, fact-checked Kamala 0 times. It's a disgrace disgrace. David Muir and Lindsay Davis should be ashamed of themselves for their biased performance on Tuesday. But the truth remains that has nothing to do with our campaign. And the only official policy is that those that you hear come out of President Trump's mouth himself at his rallies, and those that are listed on our website as well.
And you've been very public in noting that former President Trump wants another debate. Do we have one on the books? Is it going to happen?
Well, look, we don't. We are in negotiations, but we don't have a date set. I think it's yet to be seen if that happens or not, and we'll have to see.
You know, real quick here, when I saw on social media that you had your baby, we talk about political surrogates, I thought, did she have a surrogate? There's no way that she had just had a baby. You know, God bless you,
No,
but you're a new mommy. What an exciting
Yeah.
time in your life.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you, and we just love you. What are your days like? You're a new mommy. You work for former President Trump. You're on the campaign trail, going across, the country. What is your day like?
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy being up with a newborn multiple times in the night and then early mornings, working all the time. Our jobs on this campaign literally never stop, especially working in the press office and, dealing with the media. There's so much fake news out there that we are just fighting every minute of the day. So it's a lot. It's challenging times right now, but it's for a good cause, and it's to save our country. I couldn't think of a better cause to fight for on behalf of my son, who is 2 months old yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
And I want him to live in a country where freedom exists. So we're fighting and working very hard on this campaign every day, 54 days. Believe me, we are counting. We're looking forward to a big win on November 5th.
Yeah, you got to fight. Caroline Levitt, Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You take care, too. Isn't she wonderful? 855-839-1210. I just think that she's so natural and just a great spokesperson for Trump. But I was trying to make some news there, Dan. I was trying to get some news out of her.
she
I tried my best.
Oblige.
I know, right?
She's like, maybe we'll wait on it.
Yeah, so we'll see. As soon as we know that, if and when there's a debate, and then, of course, the other one that I had talked about as far as Butler, PA. The Butler, PA rally, I want to go to that one. I hope all of us can do a road trip together.
Awesome. Could you imagine?
Because that will be incredible. I think that it will happen at some point in October. If I could put this out there, David's bye week is the first weekend in October. I'm just saying, that would be perfect.
Plan it around my son's bye week. Come on.
Planning around the kids. But I can't even imagine her life. Just, she has literally a 2-month-old baby, trying to juggle all of that. Incredible. So if you want to react, 855-839-1210, the number to call. We have to take a quick break. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry!
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying,
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
Need new doors and windows, but not high-pressure sales tactics?
If so, give Emmons a call today. At Emmons, we provide top-notch installation service with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction with brands like Anderson and Provia Windows and Doors.
And you can upgrade your home today with our energy-efficient options, which help save you money.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Okay, cut sheet cleanup. You know, we've had this on the cut sheet for a little bit. I know Greg Stocker had it on his cut sheet. Dan Borowski had it on his cut sheet. Elton John. What is Elton John, Rocket Man, what does he have to say about Trump calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man?
Give me 1 sec on that, Dawn. Sorry about
Yes,
that.
sir. No, I love this story. I love that. I love that song. But Elton John he was friendly with Rush Limbaugh, right? There's like this connection, and I believe sang or performed at Rush's wedding back in the day, right?
Yeah, there's that famous story that Elton John, even though he's, someone that you wouldn't expect to be right-leaning, Rush and him struck up a friendship, and he ended up performing at the wedding. I don't know if there was any money involved in that, if there was an exchange of... I know us private citizens, we ourselves can hire Elton John to perform at a wedding for the low cost of $1.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Woo. I do have that ready
Nice.
for you if you want it.
Let's hear it.
I know that you're not a supporter of Donald Trump's. He loves your music. How did it feel when he took the lyrics to Rocket Man and he used it as a nickname for Kim Jong-un, and then he gave Kim Jong-un...
I laughed. I thought it was brilliant. I just thought, good on you, Donald. I'm the Rocket Man, yeah. Donald's always been a fan of mine, and he's been to my concerts many, many times. So, I've always been friendly towards him, and I thank him for his support. Yeah, when he did that, I just thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh.
He gave Kim one of your CDs and signed it. That was in one of the books about him, because Kim, I guess, didn't know the song, so...
What's that?
He gave Kim Jong-un the signed CD,
yes.
Which
he
never heard of it.
I know, because he hasn't heard of me, Kim Jong-un. I'd be very surprised if he had. I've never toured North Korea, and I have no intention of doing so. But I thought it was a light moment, and it was fun.
I love it. Thanks for playing that. So there it is. Rocket Man, little Rocket Man. But the truth is that, Trump showed these leaders... He showed them respect, and that's really all they want. Aretha, I have to go to her, but he showed them a little respect and sat face to face. And what's the old saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And that's really the Trump philosophy. And so he could pick up the phone, he could have a conversation with all these different individuals, and I think that's a key to his effectiveness. But to demonize them, think about the impact on that. If you are a leader, if you're the president of the United States, and you demonize them, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to do what they want to do. Look around, my friends. Look around at the world. By the way, they did, there was a story this morning, I thought, ruh-roh, but we had a scramble, U.S. fighter jets scrambling some Russian fighter jets in right off of Alaska overnight. Did you see that? Yeah. It just always, but everything's fine, and they did their deal, and just, it's kind of like when the neighbor's dog, starts going across, and you say, don't you come across that fence to bite my dog. As we talk about In the Air and Rocket Man, we've got our own Rocket Man making some news today. This is a Pennsylvania billionaire. This is one of my favorite stories. This is a Pennsylvania billionaire, and he's making history as he is the first on this commercial spacewalk that he completed just this morning. Pennsylvania businessman, Pennsylvania billionaire, and it's a pretty cool story that it's right out of Pennsylvania. It's making international news. Do we have audio on this guy, on Isaacson? I'm not sure if we do or not. His name is Jared Isaacman, and he's Commander Jared Isaacman of Pennsylvania, along with mission specialist Sarah Gillis, expected to exit the Dragon. They have the coolest names. They're watching like Game of Thrones, and they get all these ideas. That's just my theory. But they exited the Dragon spacecraft on their extravehicular activity, as SpaceX describes it. And it's a pretty cool mission. But all crew members are now considered spacewalkers, as the capsule was depressurized for the outing, exposing all 4 crew to the vacuum of space. So I was telling my one son about it yesterday. I'm like, yeah, this guy. And he goes, where are they walking? It's a spacewalk. And this is why you love kids, right? And teenagers. Because where are they walking, Mom? I'm like, in space.
I do have the moment of him stepping out of the craft and out into space. And you can hear control room and viewers applaud. Take a listen, Don.
I'm at the bottom of the mobility aid. Progressing.
I have a feeling the crowd is about to go wild.
Good call. Approaching the top of the mobility aid.
It's pretty cool.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world.
Beautiful.
What a quote. Did you
what
hear
a
that?
quote. Look, sure. Could you hear it?
Yeah, let me play it one more time. That's going to be the one step for mankind quote there.
SpaceX. Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world.
Back at home, we have a lot of work to do, but up here, looks like a perfect world.
Earth looks like a perfect world. Beautiful words. And so mission complete. I mean, they did it. Its history is made. He's Jared Isaacman. He's an American entrepreneur, pilot, philanthropist, commercial astronaut, and he's the founder of Draken International, which is a private Air Force provider, and the CEO and founder of Shift4 Payments, and that's a payment processing company. And so his estimated net worth at least $2 billion. So it's pretty cool. I mean, is he even 40? He's not even, he's 39 years young.
41.
Is he 41?
Yeah,
Sorry.
41.
Okay, thank you.
And he actually was a high school dropout, a horrible student. He had a Netflix docuseries, Countdown, Inspiration for Mission to Space, and went to Ridge High School out in Jersey and dropped out, and obviously moved over to Pennsylvania and all. And
yeah, Lehigh Valley.
Yep, and everything skyrocketed from there and became a self-made billionaire.
You know why he dropped out of school?
Tell me.
This is my theory as a mom of boys. Because boys especially, but brilliant people, you put somebody who's brilliant, who thinks outside the box, but also male, and they're bored. They're just bored.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so class size matters, the school matters, Montessori matters, all of that matters, because if they're not stimulated in school, they're not going to do well. So I'm glad he dropped out to then go on to do his
Yeah,
thing.
he specifically said, often dreaming of greater things rather than focusing on his classes. Yeah.
There was this one teacher when Michael was like 5 years old, and he was my Michael, and he was like, the teacher said, Mrs. Menti, your son, we love Michael, but he went around the class. This was like a summer camp. And he says, he picked up a drum and he started playing this tune. And before I knew it, he's leading all the children around and they're all singing and so on. And I said, oh, what a leader he is. He's so creative, my Michael. And she was like, no. She was not happy with me. But the truth is, I felt like going, yeah, well, he was bored in your little stupid summer school lady. So that was the end of that summer camp. My Michael is brilliant.
Did you pull him right out?
It was only a week camp, so that was toward the end, but he was bored. That's the problem with our schools and our schools. So this is all part of don't even get me started, Dan. But when you and Maisie have kids, you talk to me, because if you have boys, then you have to understand that a lot of times our educational system right now, wants kids to be sheep, and especially with boys, because girls tend to have, I just think be more compliant, just their personality. Not all, but with boys, they want to medicate them or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're boys.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Let them be.
From the other side of things, though, I mean, it's got to be tough. Because I was education before I moved into radio and student taught. Got to the parent-teacher conferences and realized that I can't deal with this many cooks in the kitchen. Or it's either cooks in the kitchen or just completely inactive parents. So I don't know. I was on the other side of things there for a bit. But I'm going to be hopefully soon on your side of things, and we'll see how my opinion changes on that.
Are you guys having a baby?
Oh, no, not yet. There's nothing to announce. Yeah.
So you're just having the fun part of trying to make a baby.
We're getting to the point now where
I'm getting personal.
No, it's fine. we were very much. She's an accountant, and obviously I do radio, and we wanted to kind of get our careers in order first before we started pursuing a path for parenthood. And knock on wood, that time has come. So.
I remember you when even you wanted to marry Maisie and pop the question, and you had said that, student loans were a big issue.
Yep.
And so, I just think about the impact on your life. I mean, your marriage, you're even delaying, getting married or having kids because you're trying to do things right.
It's sad. Like that's where we're at, my generation, because she has student loan debt. It's so much so that it's almost like an extra mortgage per month because we're trying to do the responsible thing and pay a little bit more and get it all paid off as fast as we can.
Crazy.
But to imagine that, we're expecting an entire generation who's saddled with this debt, which I often argue I think is unfair to place the blame completely on these kids who are, hoodwinked into thinking they need to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And then to expect, so underlining everything, when it comes to the topic of student loans, you might hear my opinion here on the Dawn Show, something a little controversial compared to a lot of conservatives, where I think conservatives need to have a full embrace of the student loan issue. Obviously approaching it from a different direction where we're not forgiving loans out of nowhere, but to completely ignore it and to victim or turn, these tons of young voters into victims of an attack. Mm-hmm. I don't think is a way to win over voters. So we'll explore that as we go forward here on the Dawn Show.
Yeah, and for sure, when you think about the fact that it used to be affordable, it still is more affordable at the state level, but it used to be really affordable. Mm-hmm. So part of the problem is big government, these endowments, the sort of the money laundering machine that is now exposed through especially private and Ivy League schools and so on. But you think about that, that's what has ballooned the cost of these colleges.
Yeah, like even if the strategy for conservatives is pointing out the hypocrisy of forgiving student loans while keeping open borders and creating a supply and demand on the housing system, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to allow children, young people, to enter into adulthood successfully, and you're creating an environment for them at the same time as forgiving their loans of supply and demand where, housing prices are skyrocketing and it's impossible to, start a family and have a home. So it's pretty hypocritical from the Democrats to have the two standpoints they have.
Yeah, it's cruel. It is. But we want to hear, we can't wait for you and Maisie to have a baby. We'll have like a baby shower. It'll be so much fun. I can't wait. 855-839-1210, the number to call. So we'll talk about some very sweet news and a new kind of poll that will take a bite out of. Coming right up.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently, they had a permanent tooth put in, and you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high, it's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
The pleasant September weather continues across the Delaware Valley today. We'll have a mixture of sunshine and clouds. It'll be warm with a high temperature a bit above average at 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, some fog possible, low 64. And for Friday, partly sunny and warm again with a high 84.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Businesses to watch. Hello, this is Armin, president of Armin Chevrolet. What can I say in the next 60 seconds that is going to make you buy a car? Absolutely nothing. The Armin team has been servicing the automotive needs of the Delaware Valley for 40 years. What makes Armin Chevrolet different from other dealerships? That's simple, our people. From the first time you visit our showroom, service or body shop, you can expect to be treated like family on each and every visit. Armin Chevrolet always offers competitive pricing, expert automotive service, and a dedication to exceptional customer service. Visit ArminChevy.com to learn more about what makes Armin Chevrolet a customer service leader in the Delaware Valley. All I ask is that before you buy, lease, repair, or maintain your vehicle, you consider Armin Chevrolet in Ardmore. Find new roads to Armin Chevrolet, where dealership meets friendship.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
I'm telling you what happened last night. If you don't like that, I don't care. We'll talk about it. I'll give you my phone number, and I'll also explain to you the way the tooth fairy works. You can live in that bubble, but I try not to. Even though I'm rooting my ass off for Trump, and I want her to go down in flames, that was not a great night for Trump. We all can say ABC News should cease to exist. They have no credibility. That was a disgrace. There's no good with ABC. It was all bad and ugly. So if that bothers you, that's fine.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
The last weeks of summer and September, they make it a beautiful road trip season, sunny weather. But is your vehicle road trip ready? My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to help make sure you and your family are safe out on the roads. These service centers of the Piazza Premium dealers not only handle all your regular maintenance needs, but also diagnose any possible issues before they can happen. Just schedule that service appointment online today, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, for that dealer nearest you. PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? What? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
Everyone wants to know, what do the sales
maybe tell us about who might win the election in November?
Well,
Talk to me about sales.
The sales, the red is leading by a lot.
By a lot.
By a lot.
You got the tally board over here.
The tally was just updated. You're new to see it, but almost by 4,000 cookies, as you can see, and that's tremendous. Tremendous for us as a small business to produce this and sell this as well, and see the faces that are coming around to buy these from all over.
The famous election cookies. Is this how the cookie crumbles? I'm trying to use all of my, horrible little. This is what newsrooms do, and we're so guilty of it.
That was great.
It's how the cookie crumbles.
Oh, that's bad.
In a good way for Trump.
Gosh.
Do we have Kathleen Loschel?
We do.
We're so excited. Hey, you have the best cookies and the best sweets and the best treats in Hatboro. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you this morning?
Doing great, Kathleen. So tell me about your cookies and your cookie poll.
Oh, well, it's bringing us a lot of business. A lot of cookies people are walking in for. We're shipping all around the country. We've almost hit every 50 states. Oh my God. And I know, it's tremendous. And we have about 300 more orders to ship out courtesy of Donald Trump sharing it on his Truth Social.
Wow.
Can I interrupt real quick? I'm curious, how many ovens do you have inside your bakery, and how many of the ovens are being used to cook these cookies?
So we do have one large oven, and then we have a smaller one. And our bakers, my husband, and he has a team of 3 others, they're working overtime right now to produce the cookies. We do anywhere between 900 and 1,350 a day.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And so is it, so just to visualize it, the cookies, they're sugar cookies?
Yes, it's a 4-inch round sugar cookie made with butter, and then we use a special icing called a royal icing because it hardens. It's almost like a sweeter marshmallowy icing, and then we put an image on it with the candidate's name in 2024, and then we surround it with what we call jimmies, but some refer to as sprinkles.
Now, have you had a visit from anybody in the Trump family?
In 2020, we did. We had a surprise visit. I unfortunately was not here, but I know we did have a 2020 visit by Eric Trump. My husband was here and did meet him. And that in 2020 did spark a lot of interest, but we have not had a visit this year, no.
You know, what's interesting is because people always said, the collar counties are all going blue, but if the cookie poll is true, then maybe we have a lot of closet cookie lovers who are also closet conservatives.
Yeah, we have a lot of customers coming in. Obviously, we're in Montgomery County, but we have a lot coming in from Northeast Philly. Bucks County is just a couple miles down the road. But we're seeing people come from, like, Lebanon, Pennsylvania. We had somebody here who was visiting family from Arizona and drove 2 hours to come pick up cookies here today. We're definitely seeing a lot of different faces from all over. And a lot of them have stories, like, just a lot of stories that they want to vent about, personal stories. So we're happy to be here to serve both candidates cookies, but the red is definitely leading a lot.
By the thousands.
Yes. Yes, literally.
For you running your business, family-run business, Kathleen, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
So I've been asked that question a couple times. Our business has remained relatively the same sales-wise, thankfully, due to the large customer base that we have and the relationships with people we have. But what we have seen is a lot of increases on our products. And just last week, my husband said the eggs went up almost double just last week overnight. And so we're seeing a lot of that, and I'm afraid to raise prices, as crazy as that sounds, only because I want my consumers to have confidence in me, and I want to hope that things get better on that level, and I don't want to just continue to raise prices. So we're holding steady. Our business is good, thankfully, due to the community and all this shipping. It brought us a lot of business when they tweeted this stuff. Thankfully.
So, and people can find, you're located there on South York Road in Hatboro. Can you give out your website just so people can check it out?
Sure. It's www.loschelsbakery.com. And if you go to the right-hand corner of the website, there's a mail order shipping, and the cookies are right there. So right now, it's about 2-week lead time to get them shipped because we do ship them fresh. So all orders will be there in about 2 weeks from the date of order.
Nice.
Yeah, we're happy.
Yeah. So are you hoping that maybe Trump will stop by again for a cookie?
I would love a visit from either candidate. I do feel, though, that the Trump campaign and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they have shared this for us, and that's tremendous for a small business like ours, to get national recognition, especially when so many small businesses have been hurt and are closing. So we're very thankful, regardless of which party.
All our best, Kathleen. Thank you so much. I'm looking at your site right now. It's making me hungry.
Thank you. You're welcome anytime to visit us.
Thank you, Kathleen. So it's Lotials, and they do it all, of course. Wedding cakes and cookies, cakes. It looks scrumptious. I love it. Lotials. I guess Greg Stocker frequents Lotial. Have you been there?
No, I haven't, but it looks delicious.
I haven't been there for quite a while. I have picked up things in the past, but haven't been there for a while.
Stocker's a fan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stocker.
I'll have to give him a try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounded delicious the way she was describing with the royal icing and all.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite cake?
Carrot.
Carrot.
I mean, it's a very Philadelphia answer, I feel.
Is it?
Especially ones from a tray down in Rittenhouse Park.
Really? Mine is just dark chocolate.
Really?
Dark chocolate.
Yeah?
Totally.
It's not bad. How about like a lava cake? You fan of the lava cake?
Love it.
Yeah? Maisie too.
Love it.
It's often underwhelming in my opinion. Yeah.
I'm a chocoholic. So the Trump cookies, the thing is I could have those in my house because I would not be tempted by them because they're sugar cookies. They're not chocolate.
Are you not a fan of sugar cookies?
I mean,
who doesn't like sugar
I'm sure they're delicious because they're homemade with real butter.
Yeah.
And eggs and whatnot, but I'm not tempted by that.
Yeah.
The chocolate is irresistible for me. Dark chocolate.
Often I'm with you. From bakeries or packaged sugar cookies, they aren't good. But then when your mom makes them for Christmas, it's a completely different story when they're using that butter and all those great ingredients. So.
And warmed up a little. Oh, my goodness. 855-839-1210, the number to call. So we're watching all things Pennsylvania, locally, nationally. So much to talk about. Quick break. Be right back.
You'll hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Smokey the Bear.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors, like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla. And build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
With NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They have customers that have lost 37 pounds, 100 pounds, and over 120 pounds, and they've kept it off. You'll have more energy, and you'll probably see better lab results. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to provide you personalized natural formulas and supplements so you can lose the weight, and DNA testing will help you keep it off. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Go to njdiet.com.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time. God bless America. There's hope. There is so much hope with joy and laughter.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Just dial pound law. That's all. Morgan & Morgan, America, and now the universe's largest injury law firm.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
So we know that Attorney General Merrick Garland is giving a live update and denouncing, quote, dangerous and outrageous attacks on the Department of Justice, prosecutors, and personnel. This is what he's saying. Speaking out about this, and it seems to be a little bit of a spin here, but says that there are dangerous and outrageous attacks on Justice Department prosecutors and personnel today, and he wants to reassure them that he has their back. So this is his speech that he's giving as far as attack. I don't know that he's giving the evidence of where these attacks are coming from. Were they emailed, or were they on social media? Where are these attacks coming from? I don't have that information. All I can tell you is that there was a lot of rhetoric before July 13th here in Pennsylvania against former President Donald J. Trump, who actually was grazed by that, his top of his ear was kind of blown off, and it was a deadly bullet intended for him, obviously, with the U.S. Secret Service today expected to give another briefing. And so is this Merrick Garland being genuine or disingenuous? Is this a situation where he's trying to maybe deflect and talk about threats against his department? That's really how I see it, because they just are trying to mitigate the damage of the publicity surrounding all of this. That's what I see. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Do we have the Lochel's Bakery update? What was it? It's about 4,300?
Yeah, as of yesterday, it was 4,400. But I called him back for an updated number, Dawn, and I'm happy to report that I've been sitting on hold now for about 3 minutes. So I'm hoping that they've been inundated with
the cookie count. It's like, we're counting the cookies, but it's a landslide. Let's just say it. I mean, the red Trump cookies, in the thousands, 4,400-ish, against the blue Biden-Harris cookies. Those are going for like 400. So your thoughts on all of this? Who was going to talk about the donuts?
Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, you love these donuts.
With you a couple times. I speak with Dom at least once a week. Anyway, I can walk to Lochel's in like 3 minutes from my house.
Nice.
And this, let me just tell you, if you have not had, I'm hoping Kathy Lochel is listening. If you have not had a Lochel's cider donut, you have not lived, because they are second to none. You gotta have one, honest to God. But you guys enjoy your day.
Thank you. Have a blessed day for sure. Yeah, when it's those warm donuts, the best. I'm glad I don't live right next to bakery like that, because that would be trouble for me, for sure. Loshals. Hey, Jim in Wilmington. Do we have Jim? Hey, Jim. Maybe not. Sorry.
Hello.
Hey,
Can
Jim.
you hear me?
Hello. We sound like the
Can you hear me?
commercial.
That's my fault. Sorry about that.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm going to be a little facetious here because I understand that people are kind of being like nonpartisan, but I really think they should send out the 4-inch cookie to the red people and then reduce the size of the blue one, saying this is a result of inflation.
Kamalanomics cookies.
Sorry, shrinkflation.
That's funny. That's very funny. Yeah, but they're trying to
Have
be
a
fair.
good day.
Thanks. Have a
Jim.
great day. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. No, it's a lot of fun, and you heard Kathy. She's not, I think we know how she leans, but she was being very fair and talking about the cookies, talking about business, and that's just it. Talk about the issues. Talk about the economy. That's what I hope everybody does this November. Just think economy. Think about the cookie and the size of your cookie, right?
Yeah.
And that's seriously, that's it. You know what? I have to get to really quick. I want to get to the story of a huge ship. It's actually bigger than the Titanic. And it's eviction day. It's eviction day for this huge ship right here in Philadelphia Shipyard. I know you love this story, Dan.
IKEA Titanic. It's so sad.
It's they're booting it. It's evicted. Is that part of the economy? What do you think? So it's the we have a lot.
Sorry, I was just taking off.
Okay.
So it's about a 200 more for each. About 200 more for the Trump cookies, and only 10s more for the Kamala cookies. USS United States, Dawn, and it's sad because this liner that's parked down there in South Philly has such an illustrious history. At one point, I think Sinatra might have performed on the ship, and it was actually the fastest ship to traverse across the Atlantic. Like, there was national news written about the USS United States down there, and it's sad to see now that it's just in complete disrepair to the point that the dock is now evicting them, and they got to go somewhere. Is there a solution as to where they're going? Would you happen to know? Because I haven't seen that yet.
There was a proposed plan that could turn the vessel into the world's largest artificial reef, but that is on hold.
What a sad, these are the things that we should be protecting, parts of our history. Like New York, they have the Aviation Museum or something that's on a old battleship, and you can go look at some of the great planes. Like, here you have a movie that was one of the hottest selling movies of all time, Titanic. You have a very close, real thing to the Titanic that would draw people to Philadelphia if you would give them full, beautiful tours through this renovated ship that you just don't give a damn about. And it's so sad that what we're talking about now is driving off the coast and sinking it. Yeah.
Yeah,
really,
you know
really
what?
sad to see a part of our history just be forgotten like this.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say, because this is right here, this is a microcosm of my argument with my husband. See, he never wants to throw anything away. So the garage, we can't even use one of the stalls. The basement. And he's like, oh, no, we got to save it. Get rid of it.
Does he keep every box for every electronic you get for no reason?
Everything.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why I have a TV box from 5 TVs ago still in the basement.
And all the kids, toys from all the, it's like, no, let's get rid of it, all of it. So I'm gonna take the opposite view, Dan. I think we got to get rid of it.
Come
Boom.
on. You think
Clean
it's a
it up.
blight on the river there?
Yeah, it's ugly.
Can you imagine
it's
how
all
the
rusty.
waterfront would do for South Philly if we, opened up a tourism destination down there?
It would cost too much. It would cost way too much. Or make it scrap metal. It's probably real steel or whatever it's made of. Dom Giordano, are you a
Dom's
hoarder?
on your side as well.
Well, Dan is crazed over this, but I'm not on your side. You're like, Ro, there's a gender gap here, always moving and throwing things out. What do we need it for? What do we need it for? You crazy. You never know when we might need this ship. We might be at war, and Dan is going to commandeer it and float down the Delaware.
Oh,
See?
Please.
Yes.
Throw it out. Recycle it. Repurpose it.
All right, so, Dawn, we have Bill O'Reilly coming on at 12:30. No one that I can bring knows Trump better. And we just found this Jimmy Kimmel calling Kimberly Guilfoyle a drag queen. Yeah, so we'll get into that. And Kimball is Mr. Empathy until it comes to the Trump family.
That's
the
terrible.
viciousness never ends.
And real quick, guys. Sorry, Dawn, go ahead.
No, it's sexist, and she is Puerto Rican, so it's racist and sexist. I'm not being facetious.
And on that note, talking about Guilfoyle, tonight, Dom, huge event that you guys will both be there. You're hosting Don Trump Jr. for Politics and Pints, Scottish Rite Auditorium. Cannot wait to be there.
Yeah,
Dawn,
Gail and Dawn there, too. Boy.
And I think
the lights will be up.
Greg Stocker said maybe 2 tickets are left. Anybody still wants to make it?
There's a few in the lower bowl sold out. We're into now the Campbell's Soup Bowl. You'll see why.
Campbell's Bowl, Dom.
No, you can't call it the Soup Bowl. Campbell's wants to get rid of soup. Are they nuts?
A big show ahead for Dom and a big night with Don Jr. Dom shows up next.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Venaria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Venaria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to them, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Venaria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Venaria's office does everything. Dr. Venaria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit venariadental.com.
Do you have $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in debt? Then listen to this. You may not be required to pay it all back.
I was drowning in debt.
I had over $36,000 in debt.
If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief can help significantly reduce what you owe. In fact, debt relief payments can be 50% less than your monthly credit card payments. That's right, half as much as you're paying now.
National Debt Relief reduced my debt by over $27,000.
With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team that knows how to talk to your creditors.
National Debt Relief, they got me out of debt.
More than 550,000 Americans have used National Debt Relief to reduce their debt. Call 800-649-6464 to see if you qualify to settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. 800-649-6464. That's 800-649-6464.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. A lot to get to today. The great Bill O'Reilly with us. What does he say about a second debate? He'll be here at 12:30, and he knows Trump better than anyone. What happened the other night where Trump had an opportunity to go after David Muir and company, and why did the ABC host not bring up the elephant in the room, the biggest existential threat the world has ever seen, second to none, China? They didn't bring it up. Now, you know, the connections with all these businesses in China, and ABC and Parent have huge connections with that. Could that be the reason why China didn't get thrown into the mix? Now, I don't know that that would have been determinative with Harris and Trump necessarily, but just an example